Have you done anything since what you call it?
Yeah, since the season ended, I try and like take my family trips. So I've gone to see my sister in Austin, and then next week I go back to California to see the rest of my family.
Oh, snap. I'm just miss you. I'm leaving here tomorrow.
Oh,
Tragic.
I forgot you were over there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, when you said fire pit at the beach, I was like, where are you?
Did you not do that often when you were younger?
No, no, I did. I did, but I didn't like in my brain put together like, oh wait, she has to be by a beach. But no,
Yeah.
we definitely did that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. We're my brother just went, he just popped out to go get some firewood. We're gonna try to pop out there and go stake our spot. I think he went driving down there yesterday and there was only like 2 pits open and I was like, damn, that's a Thursday.
What beach?
Fuck if I know. I'm not from here. I have no idea.
More than the mood, it's the weight and the will. Built for the climb, the story's the grind. This ain't just a pot, it's a whole state of mind. Limitless life. You could keep moving or stand still in fright. I came from nothing to this overnight. I'ma keep killing these stories despite all of the progress we make every day that we see. Man, these women are doing this right. Owning their lives in the day, working hard in the dark. Then they balling their ass off at night. Yeah.
Cool, man. First, I mean, we ain't started yet, but I do want to tell you I appreciate you because I was like, I gotta get Titty on this show, but I just don't know how because I know she's not this type.
I literally was telling someone today, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this podcast with a teammate. I was like, I usually only doing stuff that I'm voluntold to do. But yeah, no, it's good, bro. I appreciate you. It's not always my choice, but I trust the vision.
My goal right now is to just get all the top athletes in the WNFC.
Yeah, that'd be
And
cool.
if it was missing you, it wouldn't have made any sense, you know?
Appreciate that.
So all right, so we're gonna get started. What's up? Welcome back to the Unbothered podcast, where we talk about all things women's sports in a very unbothered, just real raw way. And today, I'm sitting down with somebody who is near and dear to my heart, but she definitely knows what it means to be a bounce back player. I'm talking about Michelle Angel, the QB1 of the Texas Elite Spartans. Yep. Um, yeah, no. She definitely has a story from being, QB1 in Texas Elite and then being benched, then going back to being a starter, leading us all the way to the IX Cup. And then, the LFL, one of the few people that I know that you can Google on famouspeople.com. Famouspeople.com, right? So today we're going to talk about what that journey looked like, what she learned following the GOAT's footsteps and all of her time in the LFL and the WNFC. So why don't we just go on and jump right into the convo with Titty, aka Michelle Angel. So Tits, what up? So
I don't think anybody outside of our team even knows that that's my name.
Definitely not. But since we're gonna talk about it, we might as well go on and talk about it. I don't even remember how. Oh, you got the name Titty because of the Lingerie Football League, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have a question because I'm
Yes.
confused. The LFL is the Legends Football League or the Lingerie Football League?
So it was originally the Lingerie Football League, and then it rebranded to Legends Football League when they were shifting from kind of like models more to athletes.
Okay.
And then it kind of entirely like separately became the X League.
Oh, it's called the X League now.
Yeah, I would say like current day, what it is the X League.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So, nobody knows about the nickname Titty, but I'm probably gonna call you Titty or Boobs throughout this as a habit. So we might as well go ahead and talk about it. Like, so how did you?
It's all good.
You want to tell them how you got that nickname?
We were in training camp in 2023, my rookie season, and I got up to answer OJ's questions because she grills everybody, and we stay up until like 2 a.m. And I got up there and she just yelled at me, oh my God, I know what I'm going to call you, Titty League. And like just screamed that at me. And so it just got shortened to Titty. And now that's how everybody refers to me. So based on where I come from, but it's endearing. So I appreciate it. No problem.
You might be the only person I know that would have been like, yeah, okay, I'm good with that. Because my ass would have been like, wait a minute here.
My nickname growing up, like, because I was always so short as well as small, was Minnie. And so, like, Minnie and Titty is so close. It's just like, it doesn't even faze me. I just like feel like I'm responding to the same thing.
So you just copped a new nickname from me, right?
What?
Mini Titties.
Mini Titties.
It's
Bro, you're
only
gonna say
right.
that word way too much on this podcast.
It's only right. I mean, at this point, I mean,
Hey, it
nobody can
works.
see you, but at this point, it kind of makes sense. It's many,
It works. It
many
works.
titties. That's what it is.
It
Okay.
works.
Well, while we're talking about them, so I got to know, and I'm sure a lot of people got to know. I'm gonna put the graphic up there on the screen.
Yeah.
Between like now and then, like, did they tell you had to put like something in your bra? Help me understand
No, they
how
didn't tell
this.
me anything. First of all, the editing impeccable. Okay, so the
They edit in
editing
real time
when
video.
you're I'm okay, maybe not real time video, but photos are getting some edits. But real time video, I mean, no, that's just I mean, I weighed a little more back then, and Victoria's Secret bombshell bra like helps the girl out. So
I
that's where
don't
that
even know what you're
was.
talking. All right, I'm gonna have to Google a bombshell bra.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
even know like what.
yeah. I don't wear those anymore. But,
You did
but
actually
yeah, that's what
weigh.
that is.
Yeah, you did actually. I was gonna ask you about that because you definitely
Yeah,
were heftier back then.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean,
It's a work in progress right now.
wait, to get back to that or to drop the weight?
Yeah, to get my weight back up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I got you.
working on it.
How do you put a phone on do not disturb and it still rings? How does this happen?
I don't know. I don't use Do Not Disturb.
Where you just where you just let it happen?
Yeah, well, no, my phone's always on silent, so I never have a ringer.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
So what happened to the? So you just dropped weight just because you got sick? You got sad? What happened there?
No, I was just going through some personal things
Yeah,
this year.
that was
And
this year,
I'm just kind of person.
bro. You was this
Yeah.
skinny last year.
No.
It feels
I
like you were.
yeah, no, I dropped a lot of weight before this year. I mean, like I've always been pretty slim, pretty small. But yeah, I just was going through some personal things, and I'm the kind of person that like my stress just shows on my body. Just
Yeah,
wasn't getting enough food in my body, enough protein in, and so lost some weight. And kind of been battling back from that. And now in the off season, that's kind of my focus is
yeah,
to get my weight back up.
yeah.
This is it's a lot of there's a lot of strong women in this league, and
Right.
I'm pretty undersized, so yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine in the off season.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your ass is lucky we play behind a really, really, really good
Mhm.
offensive line.
Yep,
Cause
they
that's
keep me standing.
right. You're like this big, bro. You be crunched, you know.
I am. I know.
All right. So let's talk about 2024. Okay, so we training camp. You came out of training camp QB1. I don't even know who it was. You and the other Sarah and somebody else. I can't even remember who was in the damn QB room back in 2024. At this point,
It was sick.
sick. Oh, it was sick.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So no. Damn. Who came out? Was it sick that came out QB1?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, so, 2023 to 2024 off season, I didn't really know what league I was gonna play for, because my old league might have been coming back. Backed up Bushman all year in 2023, and it was a really good experience, but I just kinda felt like I was leaving some players behind that I was, like, on a mission with in my other league, and so I was kinda still open to that. Um, 24 though, it was a lot of back and forth. It was a competitive QB room. I thought the competition was really close. Like literally one day I thought it leaned one way and I thought it leaned the other the next. And so yeah, I don't know, what question you have about that, but you can kind of ask it and then I can go from there.
Yeah, so I guess,
Mm.
one day it leaned one way and one day it leaned the next. So after we got out of training camp and you heard it was going to be
Mhm.
sick, um, like what was the thoughts on preparing and just keeping yourself ready to go in the instant that you were called on?
Yeah, so I actually think like a little it was kind of back and forth for a while, like a little bit after I think I would say like maybe a little bit after training camp, I was kind of told like I had the green light, but that it was a very close competition and that could switch. And then a week and a half before the first game, I got a call from OJ and she let me know that they were going to go with sick. And I respected that decision. I just asked, like where she wanted to see me improve and took that. And I kind of just, thought to myself like, okay, like what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? And I made a decision that regardless of whether I'm playing and starting or not playing at all. Like, I'm going to be who the team needs me to be, like on the sideline, leadership, practice, wherever that is. And so, I just made a commitment to myself and to the rest of the team that I'm always going to put the team first and be what the team needs. So, she beat me out fair and square. And I have no like hard feelings about that, or I didn't feel any lack of respect. Like, I thought it was super competitive, in a good way. And yeah, I just decided like I'm going to put my head down, keep doing my job. And if my opportunity comes, then great. And if not, like I'm, building trust and chemistry with the rest of the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So then, all right. So then you get your first start in Mississippi, right?
Man.
So for
So yeah,
context, when we're saying sick, there's a player that is a Team USA gold medalist, Satoria Bell, who was our starting quarterback going into the 2024 season. Satoria Bell is an all-around athlete, wide receiver, tight end, safety, just an all-around athlete. And so she was in our QB room in 2024. And then once we played, I think 1 or 2 games at that point, my memory is like mush at this point, all these years of sports, but
yeah.
1 or 2 games at that point. And then we get to playing what would turn out to be the IX Cup champion in 2024, the Mississippi Panthers, at their home field in Jackson, Mississippi, where Titty, aka Mini Tits, makes her first start. So walk us through that first start in Jackson, Mississippi. Thoughts leading into it, preparation, man, because that would be your first start for all the Texas Elite, right?
Yeah, that was my first start in the WNFC in general. Streak on the line. The next we're trying to figure out our quarterback situation after Bushman. Very high pressure. I think I remember, like, getting off the bus, and I was so new to everything that it was, like, sprinkling and raining, and I'm like, "I've never played a game in the rain." Like, I barely have thrown a football in the rain. Like, I come from arena where there's no rain. And so, like, I remember getting off the bus and talking to Mello, like, my center, and just being like, I'm a little worried about this rain." Like, I'm a little, like, I was nervous, I was excited. Um, and when you're stepping onto the field for Texas Elite, like there's a lot of when you think of this team, you think of championships and dynasties. And I think the win record was like 49, 50, or 51 or something like up there. And I'm coming in to make my, start against who would have who that year was the number one team in the league, or whatever you want to call it, or had been competing for the number one or number two spot for a couple years now. So it was very high pressure. I think that OJ gave me a game plan that eased me in. I think, we ran the ball well. I think I passed the ball well. Took care of the football, up until that last crazy play. But I don't know. I think it went well. It was a lot of pressure. It was very disappointing and very hard to feel like I was the quarterback that lost that game. I was the one that, like, was a part of the streak breaking. So that was kind of hard. But I think I look at it a lot differently now, than I did back then. I think I took it very, very hard. But yeah, we've moved on from
Yeah,
that.
big time. Well, we moved on from it, but we still got to talk
Yeah.
about it.
No, that's fine.
So I think the thing that I remember the most about that day is how strange of a day that it was, and it started out strange the entire day. I don't know if you remember us moving hotels. When we travel well, right? So we get
But yeah,
there,
I remember that.
we get to a hotel room, we sleep, we get up, we do our meetings, all the things that a pro team should do. But that day, things were just strange, man. We got up and there was some stuff going on in various locations that, not with us as a team, but like with outside people that affected us as a team, right? So we ended up moving hotels.
Hmm.
The weather was dreary. I think the ride to the stadium took forever, and then we got to the stadium and circled for like 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, I remember sitting in the car with my assistant special teams coach, Coach Trina, and we were talking, and I looked up and I said, Trina, I don't know, like today just feels a little different, not in a good way, like something feels off, you know. And we got
Hmm.
to talking, and then one of them crazy angel numbers flashed up on the dang radio station at the time, and she was like, "Yeah, something's wrong," and I was like, "Something's wrong for real." And so when we got there and then, we started playing and all three phases are struggling. Literally all three phases. Like, offense is moving the ball until we're not. We get to the red zone and then all of a sudden we can't punch it in. And then special teams is like, missing tackles. We don't miss tackles on kickoff. Like, it's just not what we do. And we're missing tackles on kickoff and we're just defense has got wide open holes. It was a strange day. No,
Mhm.
that's not taking anything away from Mississippi because they beat us fair and square, right?
Mhm.
But the whole day was just weird, man. It's just weird.
Yeah. It was a super competitive game, though. I felt like, yeah, not everything was firing on all cylinders, but I felt like, offense would make a push, defense would make a push. Like, it was kinda not everybody firing at the same time, but we had played well enough to seal it in the end. And, yeah, it doesn't go your way, and Mississippi made some huge big time plays, like, in the last 2 minutes of the game. And so shout out to them. Like, that was I think it was a good game to watch as a fan. But yeah, I think it was super competitive, and I think it was important for the sport and important for the league. You never want to take an L, but I think it started something for them, like snowballing some momentum for them, to have their moment and have their rise. And so yeah, I feel like everything, kind of happens for a reason, and we needed to take that L and figure out how to come back from that.
Yeah, for sure. That one and then the championship loss. Both of those I
Mhm.
think were more like fate and destiny than they were anything else because I can't imagine the outrage. Because we just won our fifth one this year, right? I can't imagine the
Yeah,
outrage if it was five in a row. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I don't know. It just feels like the league maybe would have fell apart, and people would have been like, oh, this is rigged. All the things that you say
yeah,
when somebody is a perennial winner. Um, and so I don't know. It was last year to me was it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, I'm looking around at like the rapid growth of the league after that, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I could deal with
yeah.
this.
That's how it felt. It's like it sucks, like when you're on the losing side of that. But at the end of the day, it's like women's football is growing, and this is another team that's brand has been built and that has risen to the highest heights of women's football. And so, like, how can you? Of course, you're upset and you're not happy with it, but like, how can you hate on that or be angry about that? Like
Yeah,
I feel like we all share the common goal of like we want women's football to get to a place that none of us can imagine. So it's like it's double-edged sword, like, you feel both sides.
yeah. I think for me, Mississippi is one of those ones that I think I'm most like intrigued by, because the rest of the league is all in NFL and football markets, and these guys
Mm,
are in little tiny Jackson, Mississippi. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true. I
Like,
never
I
thought of
mean,
that, yeah.
yeah, there's Jackson State there, which is definitely a football slash band school, but I mean, the market is even smaller than Jacksonville. It's
Mhm,
one of those where it just doesn't make sense for them to have built that kind of culture and that kind of brand, and then now they're nine cup champions, but they're perennial winners at this point. And
mhm.
their stadium is always packed. It's just they're what they've built and what they're building in Mississippi is intriguing to me. It's confusing. It doesn't make football logic.
Yeah, I feel you.
Definitely doesn't make business logic. It's like you don't put a pro team in Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi ain't got no pro teams.
Hey, if it works, it works.
If I fits, I
They
sits.
they're doing just fine.
They are. They are indeed. Okay, so all right. So after that game, when did you get the news that Brittany Bushman is the GOAT of women's football, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, and is still actually pretty young relatively for a football player, but she up until this year she held every single passing record until Sarah
Mhm.
Toibner broke the passing touchdown record, the season passing touchdown record, but there's not been a quarterback that has had more of an impact on women's sports and women's football than Brittany Bushman. So after the Mississippi game, and we lost that game, what was it, like 18-15 or something crazy like that?
That's something I don't know, 18 to 15, 19 to 21, like, something
Something,
within, like, 3 or 4 points or
yeah,
even 2 maybe? I can't remember, but it was, like, a very back and forth, couldn't punch it in the red zone type game.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a close game. But I think I can't remember what the season schedule was, if we had a bye after that or what it
Yeah, we
was. But I
did.
mean, yeah, I think we were at a point where our quarterback room was depleted. And Bush was on the Bush was on the roster for the beginning of the year, so we knew it was a possibility that she'd come back. And so we were a little depleted, and they just let me know she was coming back. And like, I, I, I don't take things personally. In terms of like, if you've seen Bushman play, like you have a respect for her that like what's what is it? What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Like I don't need a reason why Bushman's going to start over me. Like I can see it and I respect it. And so it was probably like within a week or two that I was told she was coming back, and I just kind of put my hat back on of like, okay, like I had my opportunity. I think I played well. I don't think I did enough to win, or to give confidence that this is my job 1,000,000% moving forward. And so I understood the move, and I just kind of put my QB2 hat back on, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I always do, which is put the team first and lead on the sideline or on the practice field as much as I can.
Yeah, that was a I don't know the LF.
Roller coaster though.
I bet it was an emotional roller coaster too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know very many people that could actually. I mean, we know one person who couldn't handle that kind of pressure and walked off the team at that point, right? I don't know very many people who could handle. All right, I'm going from. All right, so now is my moment to shit the goats back. Now I got to sit and wait. And also, not only am I sitting and waiting, bro, like I'm coming off being the first one to be the quarterback when we lose because we hadn't lost at that point, you know. I imagine there was probably some sleepless nights on that one, like shit, you
It
know.
was. It was, but I think it was part of my learning experience. I think it was part of, like the pressure and understanding that nothing that happens on Texas Elite is ever all about me. And I was making the loss about me, and that just wasn't what happened. And so for me, it was like a really big learning experience in that and like mindset. But yeah, no, it was a roller coaster. I had to keep checking myself, and I don't really have a big ego, but keep checking myself and checking my ego and being like, okay, well, this is exactly what's supposed to happen. This is where I'm meant to be. And like Bushman coming back just gives me more of an opportunity to learn.
Yeah,
Maybe, I could have played decently or okay, but like maybe I wasn't ready yet. And the universe or whoever, this is what it has to be for me to continue on my journey. So yeah, I mean there were some sleepless nights. It was definitely a roller coaster of you're the guy, you're not the guy, you're the guy, you're not the guy. But I don't know, I think it just made my mental game that much stronger. And I think I earned the buy-in of the team from how I responded to that year in all of those situations. I think they trusted me, and they understood like this person is not putting herself first. Like this person wants what's best for the team, even if it means it's not her.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I know for me, we as a coaching staff, we had a bunch of conversations about what we were going to do after the loss, and and this season I was active on the roster, but I wasn't a dressing out player. Just focused on coaching. Um, and it was one of those things where in my head I'm thinking like you can't just take someone out of the game because we lost the game. Like some of this stuff we yes, we lost, but we gotta give somebody some confidence about, okay, this is but then after I saw, the way you handled it, I was like, oh, she's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like she's gonna be
Yeah.
good. Bush gonna come back, she's gonna finish this year, and then the next year, when it's titty's turn, when it's mini tits' turn, she's gonna be good. So did you know when did you know, all right, so it's not my chance, not my time. So I'm gonna lock the fuck in. I'm gonna make it my time next year. Like, was that ever a thought, or did you just know that this is I'm just gonna keep being me, and this is how it's gonna land?
I had a conversation with O at the end of the year, very candid conversation where, the areas where she felt like I needed to improve and the things that I needed to do. And I just had this feeling of, you know, I told her I was honest, and I told her my confidence was shaken about all the up and downs of, it's your job, it's not your job, it's your job.
Yeah,
And I think in our conversation we kind of had a mutual understanding of like the job is yours, but you have to take it. And I hadn't taken it yet. And so I hit the off season really hard, because I wasn't sure where I was playing in 23, 24. Like I wasn't throwing to the team as in that off season, and the 24 to 25 off season. I mean, I took 4 weeks off after the championship loss, um, and I was throwing like we were throwing nonstop. Like I was just trying to improve my ball placement, my accuracy, my arm strength. You know, getting those throws out to the side of the field were difficult for me. You know, wide side and stuff like that. And so I kind of just got to work, and I got to work with not the ones. I went to work with Wonder Bread and CJ and J Rock sometimes, and then we met Summer, but but yeah, I just got to work with the ones that wanted to be out there and getting better, and so I was just focused on that. It was never promised to me. The job was not promised to me. The opportunity was there, but I didn't really know how things were going to shake out, and then it ended up being that we had a QB room of just me.
Right.
so so I don't know that there were a lot of options, but I think O saw the work that I had put in, and I think that she saw the buy-in that I had from the team and made it. She felt more confident about it, about moving forward with me. But I think I had to earn that confidence from her and that right from her. And yeah, that's kind of how I got the job.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, when you came back to training camp, I remember thinking, I don't know what Titty's been doing, what Minnie Tits has been doing, but um, I've never seen her throw the ball this accurate before. I think I told you like a million times this season,
Yeah,
I've never seen you play this
you
good
did.
before. Like,
Yeah, no,
what
I
the fuck?
remember like early in training camp, you were like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "I've been throwing, it was just reps, 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 like timing, placement, just constant."
They're all perfect
Um,
all year long, every single throw.
we got a lot of work to do, but yeah,
I
but
mean,
no, it was a
obviously.
huge. I mean, in my football career, it was probably like the biggest jump I've ever made in terms of like improvement. I got so much information from the two starts that I had in 2024 because I did end up starting that Seattle game in the playoffs, and so I just got I got a lot of film to where I could watch, and I got a lot of feedback from O and where I needed to improve and like what I needed to focus on. And so I felt like I knew exactly what I struggled with. And so, and it's crazy because some of my worst throws 2023, like I couldn't throw put like posts, corners, comebacks, problems for me. And I just rep them so much, and now some of them are my favorite routes to throw. So I don't know. It was just a lot of reps and a lot of timing, and yeah, appreciate everybody being patient with me, but made a huge jump.
Yeah. So what's the jump for this season?
This season, the focus is getting my weight up and then timing and anticipation. I think I want to feel very secure. I'm so focused on taking care of the football that I wait a little bit too long. Someone comes open, and I need to be anticipating and throwing them open and just trusting that they're going to go out there and get it. So yeah, I would say this off season, it's still a timing thing that I'm trying to get down, but anticipating putting the ball somewhere before somebody's head is turned is where my next level is, and then just processing faster, getting to my third and fourth progressions quicker is something that I want to work on as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think, one of the things is that we had almost a totally new receiver room this year, which kind of
Mhm.
degrades the trust a little bit, right? So it forces you to kind of wait to kind of see what you're going to get on a route. So it's harder to even trust that
Yeah.
you're gonna, like, if you throw a timing ball, that they're gonna turn around at the right time,
Mhm.
because it's all new. I mean, I think the only one that was still there throughout the majority of the season was MJ. Maria
Yeah.
Jackson, another Team USA gold medalist. I think 2-time gold medalist for her, or 3 times, something like that. She been around a long time.
Been around.
But yeah, everybody else. I mean, but Panda was out. Amanda Heilman was out all year, with an injury until the end. But everybody else is brand fucking new. You know?
Yeah, we had to have a lot of people step up. And I think that's just a part of it, like, reps in the off season, game reps, trust. Like I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, I think we did a lot with a lot of new faces and a lot of young talent too.
Yeah. So how does it feel to now, like, turn around and be like, all right, so I went through all this bullshit. worked my ass off in the off season. And then now at the end of it all, there was a ring and a pretty trophy and a hat. I lost my damn hat, by the way. Shit's pissing me off.
Damn, that sucks.
I know. I went to play pickup basketball with freaking KD, our starting cornerback. And, we left the gym a little early because I'm old now and walked right out without my dang hat. And then so I kept going back to the gym and they're like, hey, anybody pick up a hat? Because who the fuck would pick up that hat? Why would you take that hat? It doesn't make any damn sense. Right?
You sure KD didn't take that hat?
I'm not sure, but I haven't asked her yet. But I probably will text her and ask her. Be like, "What? Do you have two hats? It's not a coincidence. Bring it back."
That's funny.
So you went from that. So what was the initial feeling when we won it all? Was it like redemption? Was it like I knew this would happen? You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't know this would happen. It wasn't redemption. I was just so happy because I had seen how much everybody had sacrificed, how much everybody had put their head down when all the things were being said about us. And I was just so happy for the players that I felt like I really wanted to get one for. Like I really wanted to get one for Sadie's. I really wanted to get one for Jamie Locke. I really wanted y'all, like the coaching staff and to have this after all the things that were said about us after losing last year and losing the first game. So for me, it was like, I don't know, I was just so happy that we got the reward that was for all the sacrifices.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know that there is a word to it. I almost couldn't believe it that it all worked out that way with everything that I had gone through personally in the year, with everything that I had gone through football wise the year before. But it's kind of just that feeling of that's why. That's why I had to go through all of that. That's why all of those things happened in the way that they did to prepare me for this opportunity and for this moment. So yeah, it was a lot about the struggles that I had been through and the struggles that I had seen people go through. And I mean, the injuries this year was insane. We got people playing on broken foots, fingers, knees, whatever, you name it. And they were out there, putting their body on the line for the team. And so it didn't feel like I just did this for me. It felt like we as a collective, that's one of the tightest, closest teams I've ever been on in my entire career of in sports. And it just felt like we got rewarded for putting our head down and staying together. And it was just a great feeling.
Yeah, it was. I think I second and echo those sentiments because it was the other four were like, we knew it was coming, right? It's like I was telling Tammy on episode 2. We looked around and we had 5 Hall of Famers on each side of the ball. Okay, we knew, right?
Yeah.
This year we looked around after coming off 2 losses, especially a loss in the IX Cup and then losing the first game of the season. And it was like, all right, so where are we? Who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the way we all just kind of did this amongst all the things that were happening off the field, right? All of us were having personal struggles. It was, I ain't never been around something so everybody's got the same story. You know what I'm saying? All of us had the same exact story going on in our personal lives, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a strange energy. All of our worlds are falling apart outside. And then out of all that, we're all like, well, one thing we do got is football.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And we're going to hold on to football and we're going to hold real tight to each other as teammates. And we're going to see where this lands at the end. And at the end, when it landed in a championship, bro, the emotion, I don't cry like that, right? But the tears that flowed out of my eyes afterwards was all of it was worth it. And it was one of those most beautiful moments of my whole athletics career. Not the tightest team I ever played on, probably the second tightest team I ever played on. Both of those landed in titles though, and I think that is very very telling about a championship team and the championship culture. It's the first tightest team I ever played on was in high school, and we ended up with a championship there too. But the teams that weren't so tight, like 2024's Texas Elite Football Team, yeah, It just doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So tell me about the first loss, Kansas City. Okay, so you come off the loss
Yeah.
in Mississippi, and then have to sit behind Bushman for the rest of the year until the Seattle playoff game. Bushman couldn't make it, so you started that game, right? And then you get it's you again. You're the girl. You're QB1 again. You're Himothy, and then take another L. Like, what were you
Yeah.
thinking when all this went down?
My initial thought is like, damn, I've started 3 games and I've lost 2 of them.
Is it me?
So I remember talking to O and talking to Mel. I was like, I just want to win football games. I just want to play better. Like I want to, like I don't understand like what's not clicking. But I I think I think that game, we didn't know what we had yet. We we were confident in camp and practices, but we didn't really know. And so we got to that game. I think I was a little rushed. I think my mentality wasn't in yet. I wasn't calm in the pocket. Um, just kind of adjusting to everything, getting the feel for live game reps again. And in a team that's super competitive, very great football team, and they came out there and they hit us in the mouth, and we got it going later in the game. And I think one of the best things to happen for me is towards the end of that game when we had to put a 2-minute drive together. We just got it. I mean, we didn't punch it in, but we got it done to the point where we were on the 2-yard line. And I mean, starting from your own 15 or 20, to put a drive together at the end of the game is a pretty big deal. And we were pretty. You don't want to take moral victories in games, like you took an L, like we lost. But the moral victory in that game was like, hey, like when we're firing like on all cylinders, like this offense can move. Um, so yeah, I think it was tough. I think it woke all 3 phases up. I don't think that any of us were playing lights out the best we've ever played in that game. And I think one of the best things about our team is when one phase isn't where everyone else is at, the other 2 phases are bringing it up. And I don't think that in that game we were able to do that. We kind of just were all struggling and finding our identity. But I think as soon as that game was over, my mentality switched from I'm not going to put all this pressure on myself because I'm already intense and serious enough. Everybody takes me seriously. Like I need to go out there, take it a game at a time and have fun. I can't go out there with the pressure of Texas Elite Dynasty on my shoulders because that just doesn't produce good performance. So I think my mindset shifted. I think the team, instead of moving apart and pointing the finger, all looked in the mirror and knew what we each had to do. And I think we really came together after that game.
Yeah. It was one of those moments where we had to like look at each other and be like, all right, what are we gonna do now, bro? Because at that point we're on a losing streak. We done lost 2 in a row.
That was the first game. That was the first game of the year too.
Right. We
And
are
the
a losing
comments after
football
that
team.
game, people talking about us, man.
I couldn't wait to get to the podcast after that game because I just knew, man. I was like, especially the one with the girls that play at on Kansas City, the one they host. I forgot the name of that one. I'm sure I'll find it before this airs in 3 weeks. But when I couldn't wait for them to post their next show because I already knew they were going to be talking about it. And it's like Tammy said, the first thing they said was, I thought they'd hit harder than that. I thought they'd be tougher than that. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
I think they said we weren't physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we came out as physically dominating as we normally do in that game. So that's, I'm not going to comment too much on it because I think we're a very physically dominating team. I think that was finding our confidence and finding our identity, is what that game was about for us. And just kind of setting the fire under us about you don't show up and play the way that you need to do for 4 quarters. This is what happens.
Yeah. I think the thing that I was most proud about was how all of us just kind of looked in the mirror, because it's easy when you get to that point where all of a sudden you go from being 51-0 to 56 or 58-2, and the last 2 came in the last 6 months or whatever. And it's easy at that point to start pulling apart and pointing fingers. I mean, I've been on Texas Elite teams where we were winning and still pulling apart and pointing fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot easier when you're losing to start doing that. And instead of doing that, we all just kind of was like, personal accountability, motherfuckers. Let's go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has to step it up. That's kind of, and I think once we did that, I was like, all right, we're gonna be all right. We got to run the table because if we
Yeah.
lose two, we could find ourselves out of the playoffs, right? Because we don't play a season
Yeah.
that's long enough for that. But um, after the way we all like galvanized after that and was like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like the conversation in the coaching room was
Mm-hmm.
like we're not about to just sit here and take that shit. We're not about to sit here and just stand
Yeah.
for that, you know? And so especially and when Kansas City dropped that podcast and they were like, they soft, I was like, I really hope the rest of the team heard that shit. Because I
Yeah.
wanted to repost it so bad, but it's just not who we are.
No, it's not who we are. It's not who we are to talk. It's not who we are to repost. But you still hear the things and you use it how you want to. You know, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. And that's one I want back, but I think it was needed for that season and for that growth and that journey. We had a lot of young players, and sometimes you know I feel like I always need to be humbled. Like no matter if I'm feeling confident or if I'm feeling a little shaky, like a good humbling is not the worst thing in the world for anybody.
So you haven't
So I don't
changed since
know.
age 25 then, because you said the same thing in a post game presser when y'all
Did I?
lost like 54-28 to somebody when
Yeah.
you were playing Austin. You
Sometimes
called
you
it
got to be
humble pie at
humbled.
that
Sometimes
point, but it's
yeah,
the same
sometimes you
thing.
gotta just take it, and that's what propels you forward. Like that's sports. Like yes, it's great to be a part of part of dynasties and winning all the time, but that's not the reality. And with women's football, it's becoming so competitive that there isn't just one or two teams that could win the championship now. I mean, there's 4 or 5 teams if you want to stretch it to six, but there's 1 to 5 teams that could make a run and win a championship. And I think that's the growth of women's football because it didn't used to be that way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting. I'm excited about the season coming up. I ain't gonna front because
Yeah.
we gonna be who we are. But I'm excited about the parity that could occur. Right. I mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be who we are. But everybody else is like I was telling Tammy, everybody else is like stepping their game up, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
this season, I mean, did we have very many blowouts? Maybe we had like two of them, maybe two
Yeah.
blowouts.
Not a lot. I mean, like
And
I
one
felt
of
like
them,
we were in dogfights.
right, one of the blowouts
Mm-hmm.
came after we lost to Kansas City. So it's more like we just all riled up because we're pissed off
Mm-hmm.
than it is we're that much better than Seattle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, we were. That
I
was.
mean,
It wasn't about who we were playing that day. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. Like we just needed to respond no matter who was standing in front of us.
it could have been some toddlers. Fuck them kids. That's how it would have been. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, and
Right.
yeah,
You're
it would
about
have
to
been
get this
fucking
work.
right. So it wasn't like, the rest of like in previous years, it was like we were winning games 70-0 and I would go home and be like, talk to my family. Did you see the game? And you're like, yeah, but that's boring. Nobody wants to see that. It's not like that anymore. And so this season coming up should be really, really, really good season. I'm excited for Chicago. I'm excited for Jersey Shore. Atlanta should be way
Yeah.
better. Seattle's going to be who they are. Mississippi's going to be who they are. Kansas City should be extremely better. You know what I'm saying? And they were right there this year. Hell, they beat
Yeah.
us, And
Right.
so I'm really excited for this season coming up. And I think that's the one thing that the WNFC needs. And I know that messes with us, right? But that's why the NFL is so successful. It's because you
Right.
don't know who on any given year, even though LT ain't playing on that game on that team anymore, that blue team behind you could be Super Bowl champs this year. Hell, the way
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance looked, he might be your starting quarterback over Justin Herbert.
Balling.
But
That was awesome. Love that
yeah,
for him.
I was glad. As a 49ers fan, I was glad to see Trey Lance actually like look like something
Yeah.
because goodness gracious. But I'm just saying, like, that's the reason people love the NFL, right? Is because if I am a Tennessee Titans fan, it's my year. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not, it's my year. You just never
I
know. And
think yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
you're
there.
good.
I feel like the most that was the big feeling about the championship too was that we won it and one of the most, if not the most competitive year where, like top teams are winning and losing to different people. So I don't know. I think that kind of made the championship feel that much better too. Like this wasn't a blowout. Like we just barely pulled that game out, and I think that added to the feeling of like, holy crap, like we just did that.
Yeah, we were I mean, Ashley Clark was perfect all game long until that last
Mhm.
throw, and she threw it high and behind, and we were
Mhm.
one more accurate because there was nobody behind T Creech to make that tackle.
Yeah.
We were one more accurate throw away from losing that damn game. That's how
Yeah.
competitive it was, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was 2025 season was definitely one for the books,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be one burned in my mind for a long time. That's gonna be one of those teams that you bring back for a reunion in 20 years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That
Like,
was
"Alright, y'all, it's 2025 championship team, time to party. Happy anniversary." It's gonna be like that. It's gotta be, you know? It's gotta be.
Yeah.
We did have a lot of young players, you're right. I wanna talk a little bit about, Brittany Bushman, though, and the Brittany
Okay.
Bushman blueprint, right? And
Yeah.
having to sit behind her and learn from her. We talked about this briefly, but just to kinda go in depth about it, right? Because you've been very open about, learning, sitting back, and taking a lot away from her. What's the biggest thing you took, that you use to this day for success from Bush?
It's a lot of things, honestly. Like I still take things from her. Like she's always only a text away.
Yeah.
Her professionalism, the respect that she not only gives but also receives from, the best players in the world. She is so fundamentally sound, and she's an attention to detail person and focuses on the little things, and her fundamentals are so good that you just like watch the ball and you're like the ball, like where the ball zips to, looks so seamless and effortless because she's so fundamentally sound. But I mean, as a teammate and in the quarterback room, I mean, like she was always sharing information. I probably asked her a million questions in those first 2 years. And I was texting with her a lot this season. But just an ultimate professional. Never heard her talk about herself. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, what is understood doesn't have to be explained. She never had to tell you she was good because you could see it. Like you could see the respect she commanded. You could see what people had to do to try and slow her down. Um, like she never got man coverage. like she
Hell
she
no.
never got the man coverage that I get.
No.
So, she's just a true professional, a goat of our game, and somebody that was so kind and like welcoming to me and willing to share any and all information that she had with me. And she's still that way to this day. So yeah, there's a lot of love there, a lot of respect there. That's somebody that I feel like has always been in my corner and I've always been in their corner, and it's always, I don't know, it's been really cool to be a part of quarterback rooms with her in it.
Yeah. I think for me, I remember my first training camp, and I remember being so damn starstruck. I think this was 2019, I think. I was so damn starstruck because I was like, I didn't watch Brittany play in the WFA. Watched her play with Team USA, and was yeah, it was kind of like finally making on the basketball court with like Kobe or LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like you watch these people
Mhm.
as you're young, and you're like, all of a sudden I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the how approachable and accessible she was has always stuck
Mhm.
out to me. You know, it was like one
Yeah.
of those things where I knew that if I ever needed anything or if I ever had a question, send her a text or wait till she gets here and then just walk up and ask. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
she's gonna answer it, and she's gonna answer it with a smile and with like a humbleness that is totally different than what I would imagine a goat would walk around with. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, for sure. I don't think I was struck at first because I didn't really know her history. Like I was new into the women's 11s.
mhm.
And then I saw her throw the football and I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, I have never seen somebody spin the ball like that. Like
This shit never wobbles. It never
the way she
wobbles.
gets to her third and fourth progression and then zips it in, I'm just like, because I was always standing behind, like watching the reads and everything from the view that helps us the most. And if I wasn't I was not starstruck before I met her, but after I watched her throw the football, I was like, oh, this this is what they're talking about. Like this is insane. I've never seen seen a quarterback like that. So yeah, it's all love, all respect. She's a GOAT for a reason.
Yeah. She gets to her like third read in like 1.5 seconds too, which is
I know. She's a fast
insane. It's
processor,
like boop boop,
and then has the
ball's
arm strength.
gone.
Even if she like comes back to something, has the arm strength to like still get it there.
Off the back foot, moving in
Yeah.
the opposite direction. Yep. Just
Mhm.
craziness. Craziness. Okay, so
Yeah.
a lot of people may not realize that you played in the Titty League, the Lingerie
Mhm.
Football League. There was for 4 different teams, right? So started out in LA with the LA Temptations and then on to Dallas. Did you have to move around when you did all this, or were you just playing and flying around?
I lived in California, and then I moved to Dallas, Texas, and I would travel to teams from Dallas. So really, I've
Gotcha.
only lived in California and Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, so you went from LA to Dallas to Seattle to Austin, right?
Mhm.
Um, how did you get into, "All right, I'm gonna go put on some panties and go play football"? Like,
So it was rebranded the Legends Football League when I joined, but I was out of college basketball. So I played 2 years of junior college basketball, and I kind of made a decision that I didn't want to take partial scholarships, and I just wanted to start working. 'Cause I thought
mhm,
that experience would be more valuable for me. And so I started working, and I was on Facebook, and I saw somebody from my old high school post a picture, and they were wearing like shoulder pads and like a hockey helmet. And I was like, what is like with a football in her hand? And I was like, what is this? And so I kind of looked up the league, and I didn't know women's football existed at all. And when I was like 10 years old, I'd asked my parents if I could play, and I was told no. So I
we
had
all have that
always
same damn story.
yeah. So I had always loved football, and I wanted to play it, but I just didn't know women's football existed. And so when I saw that picture of her, I kind of like reached out, and then I started looking at like tryouts, and I just went to an open tryout for the Los Angeles team, and I made the team, and then there was only one open like starting job on the team, and it was a free safety position. And so I ended up winning that job, and I played free safety for like my first 2 years, and then kind of transitioned into playing quarterback my third and fourth years. But yeah, I kind of just saw a picture and was like, women's football exists, and kind of just jumped right in. I didn't really
So
care about
so
what
did
I
you
was
knew
playing.
right. So did you know you were a good quarterback when you decided to play free safety? Was that
I
something
knew
you
I
already
could
knew?
throw the football, but it was another situation where I came in and I was like, I can throw a football. And I saw the quarterback there throwing a football, and I was like, okay, I am not ready to throw a football in that way yet.
I gotcha.
And so I was like, let me like they had me as like a backup quarterback. And so I learned how to like throw to routes on the move because I'd never done that before, to moving bodies and stuff. And so I learned that so I always knew I could throw the ball. I had no fundamentals or anything yet. So I was kind of just,
Gotcha.
I could
Okay.
spin a ball.
I gotcha. Well, I think, like I was saying, we all kind of have that same story about, mom, can I play football? No, boys play
Mm.
football.
Yeah.
Let me just say to
Yeah.
Black and Hispanic families out there, girls can play football. Just let them play. The hell?
Right.
This
Well, they
is
got it now.
ridiculous.
You can find flag, you can find tackle now, so
Right.
you can
But
find it.
like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Black and Hispanic families have these like traditional views of what a woman is supposed to be. And now you look
Mhm.
at us all around here playing these goddamn football, and none of us look like what a woman's supposed to be in their view.
Right.
Like you obviously can't change it. You can't fix it. You're not gonna shape it. Just let the girl be who she wants to be.
Right.
Because
Right.
she,
Right, because we find it eventually.
eventually, right? We're
That
both
was always my joke. That was always my joke was like, my mom told me I couldn't play football with the boys when I was a kid, so I went and found the only football I knew, and that just so happened to be playing, like, in a bathing suit kinda. So, joke's on you? No, I'm
so
just kidding. I love my mom, but
how did they react to that when you told them that you were gonna play in some panties on national TV?
Um, I don't know. I kinda just told my family, like, this is what I'm doing, like, and I don't really like, you can come and watch me and support me, or, like, you can not be okay with it, and that's cool too. And I think in the early years, it was a little harder for them because I was really young, like, I was 20 years old when I started playing that. But I mean, after, like, I mean, they were supportive of me, I think actually from the very beginning. So I don't think it was, like, any huge mountain for me to climb, or them, like, I think they knew, like, "Oh, this kinda fits who she is in certain ways." Were they, like, stoked about what I was wearing? Like, probably not. but I got to be the version of me that I've always wanted to be, which is like the shit talker, the overly aggressive, the like just being my full self. And so I think they saw that like lit a fire in me, and they were super supportive.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what about the LFL background kind of helps and applied translates to today's game?
It's very different. I think in my most recent year, um, in the LFL, like I was running like a true RPO system.
Okay.
And so for me, that was like that was like the most real football. Like I felt like I was learning, other than like basic defensive coverages and stuff. But it's 7-on-7, so everything is very, very different. But I think when I was in that true RPO system, I kind of like fell in love with football again and the learning aspect of it. And so yeah, I don't know how much it translates, because it's just such a different product. It's such a different sport. But I mean the basics are all there. So I think the speed translates. I think the physicality translates. But yeah, I think it's different sizes and completely different games. So it's hard to say like what parts relate. I would say mostly the skill positions. Pass catchers, things like that are the things that are the most relatable.
I gotcha. That makes sense. So in a true RPO, were you a running quarterback? I did see some highlights. You moved a lot
Yeah,
faster.
so
You could definitely tell you was like 22, 24.
yeah. Yeah, so I was in an RPO system in Austin, and so I had 3 or 4 route options just based on the DB's alignment. So I had like a counter on, but on the outsides I depending on the alignment and who my receiver was, I mean, I had a go, I had a back shoulder fade, I had a glance route, I had a sit, and I even had like uh just a hitch. Like they could hitch like right away if they're backed out 6 yards. So it was literally just put the ball down, count how many are in the box, see if I like the DB's alignment, and then be on the same page with my receiver. So that was a lot of fun, because it feels like backyard ball. Like it feels like you're at
Yeah.
recess, and
Yeah.
you're looking at your receiver, and they're like, yeah, I'm about to like just give me this back shoulder, like they're gonna run with me. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun to be in that system and to play that way. But definitely different from 11s. 11s is a lot more structured, a lot more detailed, a lot more um, I don't know,
Like
military, it
rigid.
feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much more
Like
rigid.
yeah, so I think there's positives and negatives both.
Yeah. I saw you drop some of those balls like along the wall. I'd have been like, damn, I'd have threw that ball over the wall, and it just kind of dropped, right? It was like,
Yeah.
damn, this is some freaking accuracy, man. It's
That's the other
crazy.
thing about arena is like the field is so much smaller, like I could put it anywhere. Like I could put it exactly where I wanted. We're on a full field of 11. Sometimes you have to be a lot smarter and a lot more sure of where your ball, like where your accuracy and your ball placement is going to place a ball, because there's just so much more room for error
Yeah.
on that field. So it's just a little bit of a learning curve, but we're working on it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So you were a lot more feisty back then, for sure. Like I was, I was listening to some of your highlight tapes, and you got hours. Michelle Angel has highlight tapes for hours on YouTube.
Oh God.
YouTube.com. If you want to go look this up, you can see mini tits with the larger tits and the pretty manicured face on YouTube.com. Just look up Michelle Angel QB7. You'll find it there. But anyway, I was looking at those highlight tapes, and listening to the way that you were talking. I was like the number of fights did you get in a fight every single game?
I mean,
You ain't gonna admit it.
I never swung on nobody. Like I
Heck
never
no.
swung on nobody. But
Okay,
like
I should call it a
we're gonna
scrum.
talk about anytime there's some disrespect or some shit talk thrown my way, like we're talking about it.
It makes
So
sense.
yes.
Yeah,
Like
I saw you
so
tap the
yeah, it
ref
was
on the shoulder
often.
like, "Are you listening to me?"
So yeah, so yeah, it was often. I had like I was a little feisty, had an attitude, but it was about I don't feel like I ever started it. Like I was never talking mess before you came at me.
Mm,
So I would just respond, and like as a quarterback and like as a smaller quarterback, when you hit me, like I wanted you to know like I'm still coming. So I think that was a thing too. I think like Andrew Luck would always be like get laid out and be like, "Good hit, brother. Like good job, brother." And like mine was the opposite. I was like, "No, I'm gonna talk my mess and tell you like I'm getting back up and I'm gonna complete on you again." So
right.
I don't know. I was a little
Yeah.
feisty. Yeah.
So you done put it away, but you said it's still in there. But you done put it away now? A
It
lot
comes
more
out at
mature now.
times. It comes out at times, but I think I've matured a lot. I think I have a much, better grasp on my emotions. And then, the OJ effect, she is professionalism, she expects professionalism, and, we can let our emotions come out, like, it's football, that happens, but we're not gonna do it in a disrespectful way, and I think I used to be a little disrespectful. And yeah, I was back then I was talking a lot of mess to people that were closer to my size. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that in WNFC. These girls are big. These girls are strong. But
Yeah,
so no, if it comes out, it comes out like in the heat of the moment, and that's still who I am. That's still like that fire and that passion that burns in me. But I just try to be a little more even keel, a little more in the middle, because that's where my calm is, and that's where I perform best is when I can do both. When I can play with my heart on my sleeve, but I can also remain like calm and consistent.
makes sense. Yeah, I used to talk a lot of shit too. Um, and I don't know in Kez's episode, I think that's episode 4. I told her a story about being a shit talker and scoring my first touchdown and having it be just because I was running from somebody I had talked shit to who was like I knew if they caught me they were gonna kill me. So I was like, I ain't about to let them catch me, But I was fresh out of college. I was about 40 pounds lighter, and I was still in college sprint shape, so nobody could catch me anyway. So I
You were
was
out of
just,
there.
yeah. But it was one of those deals where like, if you're gonna be a shit talker, then you better be fucking fast. So,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it still happens. Like I feel like people still see me super fiery and it comes out in moments, but it's not every game, it's not every other play. It's not, controlled
yeah,
aggression,
yeah.
discipline. So
Yeah. When I
so
when I got
yeah.
when I got here, I had to put it away too because I remember I said something to somebody in training camp. I think it might have been D. Rich, who was our starting corner at the time. Really good cornerback, one of the best to ever do it, all pro corner. And I had said something to her. I can't remember. I think I scored on a go route or something like that. And I said something afterwards, and I was like, "All right, you got to put that away," because very clearly this is not the culture for that type of moment. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But you learn
Yeah.
fast with the OJ effect. You really do.
She pulled me off the
Um,
field one time. She pulled me off the field and gave me a nice little cussing, nice little humbling about what we do and we don't say. And so that was part of it. That was part of it too. I think like my rookie year, like I was just in the heat of the moment and I was talking as I came off the field. She was just, yeah, she told me about myself. So
yeah,
yeah, it's still, the fire's still there, but we tone it down a little bit.
it makes sense. People, including myself, have a whole bunch of misconceptions about the LFL. If you could address the misconceptions head on, like what would be the main one that you would address, and like how can you reverse that misconception?
Yeah, I think, the word real football gets used a lot, and I think it's used in flag too. Like, people don't wanna consider flag real football either, and I think they're just different formats and completely different versions of the game. Real football is happening out there. It's not 11 on 11, but I mean, you got man coverage one on one on a route, and like that's all the same. You got to beat the person in front of you. And I think that like the WNFC, like in the Legends Football League, like we had doctors, lawyers out there. We had Division 1 athletes that were coming from professional sports in other areas. And so I think all of that was a misconception as well. So I think it's those two things. It's that there's real Division 1 athletes out there, women that have full on professional careers, beyond just a regular 40-hour a week job, and it's real football. Just a very different format of football.
That makes sense because I remember watching it as I was younger and thinking like, okay, it's very clearly they have a football, but this isn't real football, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and as a woman, I'm thinking that, so I imagine that the men were probably like, "This ain't real football, but it's fun to watch."
Yeah.
you know?
And I mean, the selling point for that was like you get someone to a game and you see somebody get slammed into that wall, like they're hooked like immediately. Like
Yeah,
it's very, very physical. And it was like smaller player, so the speed was a lot faster in my opinion than traditional football. So I think there's differences, but in my opinion, it's all real football. I don't like to discriminate on flag, tackle, sevens, eights, 11s. Like that's all real football to me. And like I'm about women playing any sort of football, so I'm with all of it.
Yeah, same. Okay, cool. So we're gonna jump into segment 4 now about legacy, leadership, and motherhood. All right. So you're a mom to a teenager at this point.
I am an
Okay.
18-year-old actually.
She's 18 now?
She's 18. Yeah,
Bro, when she turned 18?
June.
Just now. Oh, so
Yeah, she's
y'all's birthday
18.
are close to each other?
Yeah, we're a day apart. Our birthdays are a day apart. She just turned 18 in June, and she's about to start her senior year at high school.
Wow. That's a lot.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you balance being a mom with being a person on famouspeople.com and
I'm not famous.
I mean, the internet says you're famous.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to be stable and consistent for her. Like I try to be the same person that I am every day. Like she knows what she's gonna get from me. And she also understands like my commitment to football and like she supports my commitment to football. She was a softball player early on in high school. And so, she understands how much that takes and the sacrifice and everything. And she comes and supports me at my games and stuff. So she understands, but there were definitely times like over the last 7, 8 years that I've been in her life where like I wasn't always home because I was traveling to play football. So I'm sure that was difficult, but I don't think that she had a negative view on it. Like I think she understood like this is something that like I'm passionate about, and that like I don't just leave to go be with my friends. Like like it is my purpose and like my calling, and it's very fulfilling for me. And I think she's always like supported and respected that. And now that she's technically an adult, like, and she still supports that, like I don't know, it's just really cool to have been able to play football while like being a mom to her. Even though sometimes, the sacrifice, you don't get as much time.
Yeah. Yeah, you think she sees it? Do you think she's going to follow in that path?
Which path? The
The
sports
football?
path?
Yeah.
No, she'll
No.
not.
She's going to be a
She'll
girly girl.
I'll leave to go to practice. I'll leave to go to practice and she's like, couldn't be me. Like, like she understood sports and she was very committed to sports when she was playing, but she made a decision for herself like this doesn't set my soul on fire like it sets yours on fire.
Makes sense.
And we had that conversation and I respected that. And she still gave her all like while she was in sports. And, I just had to understand like she's not going to be like me in that way. Like it doesn't, her fire burns for other things. So yeah, I mean, we had that conversation and she's going on her own path. And I don't know, I think it's just a mutual respect thing. But yeah, like when I leave at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or I have to go back for whatever, she's just like, yeah, it couldn't be me. Like, good job. See you later.
She's like, go team, go.
Yeah. So she's at the games. She was at the championship game, being supportive. So yeah, she's a good kid, and it hasn't been. It's been a good thing, and a thing that I think is mutually understood between the two of us.
Yeah, that's cool. One of the things that I always like am very cognizant of and also in awe of is how many mothers we have on that football field.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're together every Saturday and Sunday morning for 3 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's prime time to be a parent, you know what I'm saying? And then we're together every Wednesday night, again, prime time to be a parent. And then, if don't let it be an away game, because we're
Right.
out Friday or Thursday and we're gone the whole weekend until maybe Monday morning, and so like as a parent, making that sacrifice to be away from your kid, giving up those parental hours, missing things because they're also doing things over the weekend, just missing things.
Yeah.
I'm always in awe of people who can do that. Like for me, I'm like, I think by the time I have a kid, I'm gonna have to not be doing sports because I just don't know that I could be that type of personality to miss out on those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'd be pissed if my kid started walking and my ass is up in Kansas City playing football. That would piss me off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
feel
saying?
that.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I applaud you. I think it's a
Thank you.
like a valiant thing that deserves respect. It's another part of women's pro sports that people don't understand and that men don't have to deal with.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and so I wish wish your daughter all the best in adulthood. Tell her
Thank you.
adulthood fucking sucks. So good luck
It
to her in
does. I
that.
told her once them bills start, they don't stop.
They
So stop
don't, and they
rushing.
just get bigger. And the more money you make, the bigger your bills. That's how it goes.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So your message to younger girls, maybe even girls your daughter's age, coming up, because I know for you and I, at 10 years old, Mom, can I play football? Hell no, right? But their
Mhm.
world is a little bit different now, right? If
Yeah.
they want to play football, they can find an all girls team at 10 years old if they wanted to. We didn't have
Yeah.
that option. I didn't know women's football existed until after I graduated from college. After I quit playing basketball in college, and then I was like, I need something to do. I've been a team sport athlete my whole life. I can't just not, you know? But these girls are a little bit different. So they're starting early. Your message to them, coming up as small kids, like, what would you tell them in order to reach their dreams and their goals as a women's pro football player?
Yeah, I think it still goes back to the no. I think you get no's from people who believe in you and people who don't believe in you. And it's not a personal thing. And I think you just have to have like the confidence and the security in yourself to know where it is that you belong and to know like if you decide to play in women's football, like you belong in women's football. Like making that decision or that choice means that you belong and you're a part of that. And so just understanding that whether it's football or anything in life, like you're going to get no's from people that love you and from people that don't know you from a can of paint. So you have to just be secure enough in yourself to keep pushing for those things that you want because yeah, I was told no and like I knew I was going to find my way there. I didn't know how, I didn't know what it looked like, I didn't know the steps to take. But I found myself, there some way somehow and then I didn't know I was going to find the WNFC either and play on women's tackle football's biggest stage, and here I am. So you don't always have to see how you're going to get there to get there. You just got to, have that belief and have that confidence in yourself that things are going to happen for you, and they do.
Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna clip that. I just want you to know that that's gonna be probably the first clip of this episode. That's gonna go out
Okay.
for marketing purposes. Because
Yeah.
I mean that's life. That's life advice right there, right? Like
Mhm.
it doesn't even matter if it's football. You could be trying to start a business, you could be trying to go to college, you could be, whatever it is, you could be trying to get a new job. How many job interviews do you go to and then you get turned down for them, right? Like you're going to be
Right.
told no throughout the entire course of your life. It's not about the no. It's about
Mhm.
what you do, how you keep moving your feet afterwards. And it's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. So that's definitely going to be the first clip. Gotcha.
Appreciate that.
Gotcha. All right. So, did I ask you the unbothered question? I can't remember. I didn't, did I?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you're about to get it. So, okay. So
Oh
then,
God, what's the
what
unbothered
does
question?
what does being unbothered mean to you?
Mm. Unbothered means to me that I hear all the noise, I see everything that you're saying and that you're doing, but it's not going to change who I am and my next step forward. Like all that's going to roll off my back. I'm going to use it as fuel. I'm going to ignore it at times. It's going to be used in different ways, but it's not going to change the person that I know that I am, that I'm going to continue to be today and tomorrow and the day after.
Mm, yeah, got it. That's good. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So, mini tits. I
What's up?
appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna stick, bro. I'm gonna change your name in my phone to mini tits. I just
That's
want you to
fine.
know it's happening.
That's fine. I'm with
Um,
it.
I appreciate you jumping on Unbothered podcast because, like I said, if right now I'm on a roll of grabbing all the top talent in WNFC, and it just wouldn't be complete if I didn't get to talk to Mini Tits, Michelle Angel, um, fifth in passing yards this year, 627, second in completion percentage, right behind Miley's Brown in Mississippi, and second in touchdowns behind episode 3's guest Sarah Teubner, third in passer rating, just an all-around baller, led Texas Elite Spartans to the IX Cup, and is one of the most famous people on the planet, apparently, according to famouspeople.com. She keeps shaking her head no, but I don't know anybody else you can Google on
Oh.
famouspeople.com. I don't know. You're gonna have to
It
tell
says it
me.
says I'm worth millions, and I need
It
some
does.
connects on where that is because
It
that is
does.
not what the bank account looks like. I don't know who wrote that. I don't know who edited it, but I need that money.
It says like $2 million net worth. I'm thinking to myself,
what?
wow, okay, all right, mini tits running around with her nice Toyota. What is it? It's a 4Runner with the Kobe in the back. Okay.
Yeah.
$2 million net worth. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you, man. I always love hanging out with you, talking to you, of course, as your perennial road trip roommate. Love talking to you. And so I appreciate you jumping on the show. Next week, we're going to talk to a former professional football player who's now running one of the league's newest and most promising NIL agencies around. You know, you're going to want to hear her story too. So tune in for I think that would be episode 6, because I think this is episode 5. She is building brands, and that Octane Energy actually does really taste really good. And I know it's not hers, but it's one of the brands that her agency reps. And so we're going to talk about that, and maybe I can get some Octane Energy on the show at that point. We'll see how that goes.
There you go.
I know, right? Any last words? Where can people follow you on socials?
I'm on Instagram, Fourth and Angel, _and_angel. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm at.
Just on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't have a Twitter. I mean, I'm on Facebook technically. I don't know what that name's listed as.
Hell, does anybody have a Twitter at this point?
No, I don't know.
I don't think
I did. I used to delete that, but
I think most people used to and deleted that. It just doesn't make sense.
I try to just have one social media, so I'm not wasting all my time scrolling.
You ain't on TikTok?
On Instagram, Fourth and Angel.
You ain't on TikTok? You're not on TikTok?
I'm on there. I don't post on there. No.
You don't be scrolling on there? It's funny on there.
I just don't post. I scroll sometimes on there, but yeah, I don't post on there because I don't know how to do anything. I'm like too old. I missed the boat on TikTok.
See, that's why I don't post much on Instagram, because I don't know what's going on. Every time I open it, I'm totally confused. I'm like, I don't know what is the difference between a reel and a story at this point. I'm confused, bro. Like I don't know.
I can't help.
I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I appreciate you. All right, so y'all tune in next week. Y'all just make sure y'all stay tuned in, stay happy, stay fucking unbothered. Peace.
Yeah, we in this here. We never leaving, we killing this here. Eating this here. Leaving no crumbs, give you something to feel. Unbothered is real, more than a move. It's the weight in the will. Built for the climb, the story's the grind. This ain't just a pot, it's a whole state of mind. Limitless life. You can keep moving.